Hello everyone and welcome to this tutorial on facility location problem in Python using the package called pulp. Pulp is a famous package that's used for solving optimization problems, and it's predominantly used by both practitioners and academicians. So today we will look at a hypothetical facility location problem. So let's say there is a company called ABC, and ABC has to decide where to build location. It could be in L1, L2, L3, or L4. They could have one location, two, three, or four. That's the decision that they must make. And after deciding on the location, they should also map their suppliers. So let's say that L1 is assembly point and they have suppliers S1, S2, S3, S4, S5, and S6. We assume that all the suppliers are going to deliver the same product with same cost, quality, and so on. So the only differentiation between suppliers is the shipping cost. So let's say that S1 is delivering to location L1. So we said ABC is a electric vehicle manufacturer. So let us say that supplier one is going to send batteries, a full truckload to L1. So for delivering the product from S1 to L1, so this incurs a shipping cost of 9 units. Right? Similarly, let's say S3 to L3. So S3 to L3, the cost is around 2 units. So this is the shipping cost. Additionally, for building facilities at L1, ABC will incur 100 units of cost. If ABC decides to build the location at L2, well, the cost incurred is 120 units of cost. Likewise, for L3 and L4, it is 150 and 200. And this shipping cost is also going to be borne by ABC. So ABC has to decide on two things: where to have the locations and how to map the suppliers to the respective locations. And then all these things must be done with the objective of minimizing the total cost. So here total cost has two components: the cost of building a facility, that is the fixed cost or one-time cost, and then the shipping cost. So any linear programming problem will have four things, starting with decision variables, objective function, constraints, and non-negativity constraint or binary constraint. Right? So here we are starting with the decision variables. So xi equal to 1 means that ABC is going to have location at location 1. If x1 is equal to 0, that means that ABC is not going to have a location at location 1. So I'll be using the term facility and location interchangeably. So be aware of that. Then Y12. So Yij. So here J represents suppliers 1 to 6. I represents the location 1, 2, 3, and 4. So let's say Y12 is equal to 1. This means that the second supplier is mapped to the first location. So Y12 is equal to 0. This will mean that the second supplier is not mapped to the first location. We also assume that all locations have unlimited capacity. Then comes the objective function. So the first line of the objective function must be clear. So these are the fixed costs. If you build a facility at location 1, it will cost 100 units for ABC. At the second location, it is 120. At the third location, it is 150 and 200 at the fourth location. Then we saw a pricing matrix. So let me show that again. So here the shipping cost for all the suppliers to deliver at location 1 is 975,634. So if you look at the constraint, so it says 975,634. It's the same pricing matrix. Okay. Uh, then comes the constraints. So the first constraint, x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4 greater than or equal to 1. This means that, well, ABC should at least have one facility. It can have more facilities, but at least there should be one facility. And what is the maximum amount of facilities they can have? Well, that's 4. The next constraint y11 plus y21 plus y31 plus y41 is equal to 1. So this means uh, the supplier 1 should be at least mapped to one facility or one location. Similarly, y12 plus y22 plus y32 plus y42 is equal to 1 means that the second supplier should be mapped to at least one facility. So we have the same constraints for the third supplier, fourth supplier, fifth supplier, and the sixth supplier. So here comes an interesting constraint. So let us say x1 is equal to 1. So x1 is equal to 1 means that ABC is going to have a facility at location 1. So let us say all the suppliers are mapped to location 1. Even then, this constraint is valid, right? So if x1 is 1, so this is 6. So let's say y11 is 1, y12 is 1. All these are 1. So even if all the suppliers are mapped to location 1, this constraint will hold good. Similarly, we have a constraint for the second location, third location, and fourth location. So here, let us take x4. If x4 is 1, at least one of the suppliers will be mapped to x4, right? So that's a very interesting constraint. You cannot have a facility and you don't want suppliers not mapped to that facility. If x4 is 0, you don't want any suppliers to be mapped to that facility, right? Then comes the binary constraint. All the variables x1, x2, x3, x4, and yij are binary variables. So now we have the decision variables, objective function, as well as the constraints. So let's do the coding uh, in Jupyter Notebook. So you can use the Google Collaboratory or Spider, anything. So let's open a new Python notebook. We'll start the pulp coding by doing a pip install of the pulp package. Right. So this package is installed. So let's import it's from pulp import start. So we are importing everything from the pulp package. So now let's start with the decision variables. Right. So you have x1 as a decision variable. So this is how we define a decision variable. And then we give the category. So that's binary here. Right. So you have a variable called x1, which is a LP variable, and the category is basically binary. LP, okay, there's a typo. Okay. So this is for the facility L1. We have L1, L2, L3, and L4. So that's going to be the same. So let's have X2, X3, X4. We also have to change them here. Let me also zoom a bit. Okay, so we have four xi variables. So now let's define the yij variables. So that's again a binary variable, right? So we have y11. So we have y11, y12, y13, y414, so on. Right? So let's also do the changes. y11, y12, y13, y14, y15, y16, y13, y14, 5, y16. Make sure that you double check on the decision variables. So if you have a repetition of decision variables, you are highly prone to errors. So this is for facility 1. Let's do it for facility 2. 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, 2.5, and 2.6. 1, 2.6. Then we have third facility 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, 3.4. And we have the fourth location, which is the final one. Right? So that's done. So the next thing is to define the objective function. So we are defining a problem, which is an LP problem, and let's call this problem facility location problem. And here we are looking at LP minimus. You have a warning. Let's run it again. So here, if you see, this is how Pulp understands that this is a minimization problem, right? We also have given a name for this problem, which is facility location problem. So now let's give the um, objective function problem plus equals to. So if you look at the PPT, we already have prepared the objective function, right? So let's copy and paste it here. This is going to be a long objective function. Okay, so I don't think there are any typos. So we have the objective function. So next is the constraints. So we had a lot of constraints. Let's see them one by one. So this problem plus equal to. So that is how Pulp understands that we have an objective function. We have these are the constraints and so on. Right? We also have another set of constraints. Let's again copy paste this problem plus equal to. That's important. So now if you run and you're successful, so 90% of our job is done. Okay. So this is an assignment, right? Problem plus is equal to y11 plus y21 plus y31 plus y41 equal to 1 is an assignment. So since this is a constraint, let's do double equal to here. Okay, so we are mostly done. And the next job is to solve the problem. Okay, so this means problem.solve equal to 1 is a good sign. That means that our solution is optimal. If you get a -1 here, that means that you have infeasible solution. If you get 2 or 3, that means the solution is unbounded. So we are lucky we have a 1, which means that the solution is optimal. We can also verify this by uh, doing LP status problem dot status. Okay. LP status problem. Okay, I think it should be given in square brackets. Okay. So now let's look at the assignment of suppliers to their respective locations. For that, let's use a for loop or sin problem dot variables. Let's print s dot name comma s dot var value. So now, if you look at the assignments, well, this says that our our model says that let's have the facility only at location one. Let's not have it at two, three, and four. And if you look at this, all the suppliers are assigned to location one. Now let's also look at the objective function value. Value problem dot objective. Okay, so it is 134. So let us cross verify this. Let's go to our pricing matrix. So now we know that we are going to build the facility at location one. So that means we need to incur 100 as the fixed cost. So now we know that all the suppliers are mapped to location one. So if you add 9 plus 7, 16, 16 plus 5 is 21, 21 plus 6 is 27, 30, 34. So 100 plus 34 is 134. So which was the value of our objective function. So this might look trivial, but you can definitely complicate the situations here. So now instead of having a minimum of one facility, let's try having a minimum of two facilities. So let's see what is going to happen. Let's run it from the beginning of the objective function. So again, we see that the results are optimal. So now let's look at the assignments. So here we see that facilities 1 and 2 are selected, 3 and 4 are not selected. And if you look at this, supplier 2, 3, and 6 are assigned to location 1. And then 1, 4, and 5 are assigned to facility 2. So now if you print the objective value function, it is definitely going to be at least about 220. So it's 249. The reason I said it's going to be more than 220 was, the fixed cost of building a location at L1 is 100 and L2 is 120. So 100 plus 120 is 220. And then you have the shipping costs. So we have the objective function value of 249. If you say, well, you need at least two facilities and it cannot exceed four facilities.